The shift you feel means your old life is ending. Have you felt that quiet shift inside you lately? That heaviness in your heart, that restlessness that won't go away, like something in your life is quietly ending, but you don't know what yet. If you feel that right now, I need you to do something with me. I want you to pause for a second and type down in the comments, which country are you watching this from? And what time is it there right now? Do it before we continue. Go ahead, I'll wait. Because here's the truth: no matter where you are, no matter what time it is, this message is for your heart, for your soul. That shift you feel, that heaviness, it is not random. It is not fear. It is not weakness. It is a sign your old life is ending. Your routines, your attachments, even people and places you once leaned on, they are quietly being removed. And if you ignore this, if you cling to the familiar, you risk staying stuck in a life that drains your heart, your peace, and your purpose. But there is hope. By the end of this video, you will understand why this shift is happening, what it means for your heart, and how to embrace it, so that you can rise into a life full of clarity, faith, and peace. And remember, no matter your country, no matter your time zone, you are not alone in this. Your heart is listening, your soul is ready, and this is your moment to pay attention, because what you feel right now is a mercy guiding you to something greater than you ever imagined. Allah is ending your old life to protect your faith. When Allah allows discomfort to enter a life that once felt stable, it does not mean you have failed, and it does not mean you are ungrateful for what you have been given. It means Allah sees something you cannot yet see. Sometimes a life can look calm on the outside, but quietly weaken the heart on the inside. You may still be functioning, still smiling, still doing what you always did, but your faith is slowly becoming tired, and Allah in His mercy does not ignore that. So He allows a feeling of unease to settle in your heart, not to punish you, but to protect you before the damage becomes deeper. This discomfort is a form of care. It is Allah refusing to let you remain comfortable in a place that is slowly pulling you away from Him. If staying where you are was truly good for your faith, Allah would have allowed peace to stay. But when peace begins to fade, it is a sign that Allah is waking your heart up. He is reminding you that comfort without closeness to Him is not real safety. What feels like disturbance is actually guidance, gently shaking you so you do not fall asleep in a life that is costing you your connection with Allah. Many people stay in situations simply because they feel familiar, not because they are healthy for the soul. Allah knows how strong attachment can become and how hard it is for the heart to let go once it settles. So before attachment turns into loss, Allah creates awareness. He allows you to feel unsettled, restless, or disconnected, so you begin to question what you are holding on to. This questioning is not confusion. It is the beginning of clarity. It is Allah protecting your faith before it becomes harder to return. You are not being pushed away from something out of anger. You are being pulled away out of mercy. Allah is showing you that your heart deserves better than slow spiritual damage. He is reminding you that your faith matters more than your comfort, and your closeness to Him matters more than staying in a life that looks fine but is quietly empty. This is not the end of your stability. It is Allah guiding you toward a stability that does not come at the cost of your faith. Peace leaves when something is no longer meant for you. When peace slowly leaves something that once felt right, it does not happen without reason. Allah does not remove calm from your heart suddenly or carelessly. Peace leaves when something is no longer meant to continue with you, even if you once loved it deeply. At first, you may try to blame yourself. You may wonder why your heart feels heavy, why you feel uncomfortable, or why something that once felt safe now feels draining. But this change is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that Allah has changed your direction, even if your life has not yet changed on the outside. Sometimes Allah allows you to stay in the same place physically, but He removes peace from your heart so you do not stay there emotionally. This is His gentle way of separating you from something that no longer belongs to your future. If Allah left peace where it no longer served you, you would never leave. You would stay attached simply because it feels familiar, even if it slowly pulls your heart away from Him. So Allah removes the comfort first, not to hurt you, but to help you let go. What is meant for you will never require you to sacrifice your faith, your values, or your inner peace. When something begins to demand that you ignore your conscience, quiet your prayers, or harden your heart just to keep it, that is not something meant to remain with you. Allah knows that the heart can become attached even to things that harm it, so He gently weakens that attachment by taking away the peace you once felt there. This is not rejection, it is redirection. You may notice that your heart no longer settles the way it used to. Conversations feel empty, places feel heavy, even achievements feel hollow. This is not ingratitude, this is awareness. Allah is helping you see the truth of what you are holding on to. He is showing you that the calm you thought came from that situation was never really from it. It was always coming from Him. And when something is no longer meant for you, Allah pulls that calm back, so your heart learns where peace truly comes from. Many people mistake this loss of peace as a sign that something is wrong with them. In reality, it is a sign that something is right. Your heart is becoming more sensitive, more awake, and more honest. Allah is refining your heart so it no longer settles for things that block your growth. The discomfort you feel is not meant to break you. It is meant to help you detach before the attachment becomes painful to remove. When peace leaves, it is an invitation to trust Allah more than what you can see. It is Allah asking you to believe that letting go will not leave you empty. Even though your heart may resist, Allah is guiding you towards something that will not steal your faith or quiet your conscience. What is meant for you will carry calm even when it challenges you. And what is no longer meant for you will slowly lose its sweetness, so your heart has the strength to move forward without regret. This loss of peace is not the end of goodness in your life. It is Allah clearing space for a deeper, more honest peace to enter. One that does not depend on people, places, or outcomes, but rests quietly in knowing that Allah is guiding you even when the path is not yet clear. The heaviness you feel is divine redirection. When heaviness enters your heart without a clear reason, it is easy to think something is wrong with you. You may feel tired in ways that rest does not fix, or emotionally drained even when nothing serious has happened. But this heaviness is not always sadness or weakness. Often, it is divine redirection. Allah allows the weight to be felt when your heart is being pulled away from what no longer feeds it and towards something deeper that it has been missing. This heaviness comes when the things that once distracted you no longer work. You may notice that the same routines feel empty, the same noise feels overwhelming, and the same pleasures feel dull. This is not because life has lost meaning. It is because Allah is removing false meaning so your heart can search for real purpose. When the heart has been living on surface level comfort for too long, Allah creates a feeling of heaviness, so the soul begins to ask deeper questions. Many people try to escape this heaviness by filling their time with more activity, more talking, or more distraction. But the more they try to escape, the heavier it becomes. That is because this feeling is not meant to be avoided, it is meant to be listened to. Allah is slowing you down so your heart can hear what it has been ignoring. He is creating space for reflection, sincerity, and truth. The heaviness is not there to crush you, it is there to guide you. This weight often appears when your heart is ready to grow, but your life has not yet changed to match that growth. Your soul wants more meaning, more honesty, and more closeness to Allah, but your surroundings are still pulling you toward old habits and old thinking. That tension creates heaviness. It is the pain of being ready for something new while still standing in something old. Allah allows this discomfort, so you stop settling for what no longer fits your heart. Heaviness is also a sign that Allah is calling you inward. Instead of chasing noise, He is inviting you into quiet. Instead of relying on what is outside of you, He is drawing you closer to Him. This feeling teaches the heart that peace does not come from constant movement or distraction. It comes from alignment. When your life aligns with what your heart truly needs, the heaviness begins to lift. You are not being burdened without purpose. Allah does not place weight on a heart unless He is preparing it for change. This heaviness is not meant to stay forever. It is a bridge between who you were and who you are becoming. When you stop fighting it and begin to listen, it turns into clarity. And that clarity leads you gently toward a life that feels lighter, not because it is easier, but because it is truer to the direction Allah is guiding you toward. This shift means your faith is being elevated. When a shift happens inside your heart and you can feel that you are no longer the same person you were before, it is not something to fear. This change is a sign that your faith is being lifted to a higher level. Allah does not disturb the heart of a believer unless He is preparing it for growth. What feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable is often the beginning of a deeper connection with Him. Your heart is expanding, and when a heart grows, it can no longer remain comfortable in the same small spaces it once lived in. As your faith becomes stronger, your heart begins to desire different things. You may notice that certain conversations no longer satisfy you, certain environments no longer feel right, and certain habits no longer bring joy. This does not mean those things were wrong. It simply means your heart has moved beyond them. Growth always creates distance, and spiritual growth is no different. Allah is gently separating you from what no longer matches the level of awareness He is giving you. This elevation can feel lonely at times. You may feel like fewer people understand you, or that you no longer belong where you once did. This loneliness is not rejection, it is space. Allah creates this space so your heart can turn toward Him without constant noise or pressure. When fewer voices surround you, His guidance becomes clearer. When distractions fall away, sincerity becomes easier. As your faith rises, Allah also refines your intentions. You begin to care less about approval and more about truth. You become more aware of what affects your heart, and you start protecting your inner peace. This awareness is not arrogance. It is responsibility. Allah is trusting you with a deeper understanding, and that trust comes with the need to be more mindful of where you place your time, energy, and emotions. This shift does not mean your life will suddenly become easy. Elevation often comes with tests that stretch your patience and deepen your trust. But the difference now is that your heart knows where to turn. You begin to rely less on people and outcomes, and more on Allah's guidance. Even when you do not understand what is happening, there is a quiet sense that you are being led, not lost. What you are feeling is not the loss of who you were, but the unfolding of who you are becoming. Allah is raising your faith so your heart can hold more wisdom, more sincerity, and more peace. This process takes time, and it requires surrender. But every step of this shift is moving you closer to a faith that is stronger, steadier, and rooted in trust, not circumstance. Endings happen when a lesson is complete. When something ends in your life, it is natural to feel sadness, confusion, or even resistance. Endings can feel like loss, especially when you have invested time, emotions, and hope into what is ending. But not every ending means something went wrong. Very often, an ending happens because a lesson has been completed. Allah allows certain chapters in your life to exist for a purpose, and when that purpose has been fulfilled, the chapter closes so you can move forward with what you have learned. Some situations enter your life to teach you strength, others to teach patience, humility, forgiveness, or self-respect. When the lesson is still needed, the situation remains, even if it is difficult. But when the lesson has settled in your heart, Allah removes the situation, sometimes gently and sometimes suddenly. The ending may surprise you, but the wisdom behind it is always precise. What feels like loss is often closure. Holding on after a lesson is complete can keep you tied to a version of yourself that no longer exists. You may try to recreate what once was, hoping it will feel the same again, but it does not, because the purpose has already been served. Allah does not allow things to remain once they stop helping your growth. He moves you forward, so you do not stay stuck, repeating the same lesson in different forms. Endings also teach acceptance. They remind you that life is made of seasons and each season has its time. When one season ends, it makes space for the next. If every chapter stayed open, there would be no room for growth, no room for renewal, and no room for deeper understanding. Allah closes doors not to take away from you, but to create space for what aligns better with who you are becoming. Sometimes the pain of an ending comes from not understanding why it happened. You may question yourself, replay moments, or wonder what you could have done differently. But not every ending requires explanation. Some endings are simply Allah saying that this chapter has given you what it was meant to give. Trusting that allows the heart to rest instead of resist. An ending does not erase the value of what came before it. It does not mean the time was wasted or the experience was meaningless. Every step served a purpose in shaping you. What ends leaves behind wisdom, awareness, and strength. When you accept that a lesson is complete, you can carry its benefit forward without carrying its weight. This is how Allah moves you gently from one stage of life to the next, always guiding you toward growth, even when the goodbye is hard. Allah detaches you before He raises you higher. Sometimes in life, things begin to fall away from you, and at first it feels like loss. People, habits, opportunities, or comforts that you once relied on start to disappear, and your heart feels empty. You may wonder why this is happening, why the world seems to be taking rather than giving. But this detachment is not punishment, it is preparation. Allah allows the heart to let go of what it clings to so that it can rise higher, so that it can hold more, and so that it can carry what is truly meant for it. When you are attached to certain people or patterns, even unknowingly, your heart can become heavy and limited. That attachment can quietly shape your choices, your energy, and even the way you see yourself. Allah knows that hearts burdened by attachment cannot reach the next level of faith, understanding, or purpose. So He begins the gentle process of freeing you, even if it feels like things are being taken away. He detaches you from what is holding you back so that when the next opportunity arrives, your heart can receive it fully. This process can feel lonely. It can feel uncomfortable. You may long for what is leaving, or feel scared that nothing new will come. But the emptiness is part of the design. It is the space Allah creates so that you can grow, think clearly, and focus on what matters most. When distractions are removed and false comfort falls away, your heart begins to learn how to trust in Allah rather than relying on people, situations, or fleeting pleasures. This trust is the key to rising higher in life and in faith. Detachment is not always obvious at first. Sometimes it happens slowly. A friend drifts away, a habit no longer feels satisfying, or a familiar environment begins to feel heavy. Other times, it happens suddenly. An opportunity ends, a relationship closes, or a situation changes unexpectedly. No matter how it happens, the purpose is the same. Allah is preparing your heart to be lighter, more aware, and more open to the next stage He has for you. What feels like loss now is actually a gift for the future. When you begin to accept that detachment is part of growth, the fear begins to fade. You start to see that letting go is not leaving yourself behind, it is making space for a higher version of you to emerge. Allah is raising you gently, teaching you patience, reliance, and resilience. He removes what the heart clings to, not to punish, but to prepare it to hold more love, more faith, and more clarity. The truth is, nothing that is meant to stay in your life leaves permanently, and nothing that leaves was ever truly holding you back from your destiny. Allah detaches you so that your heart can rise above comfort zones, old habits, and limited thinking. And when your heart is ready, when it has learned to trust and to let go, He brings the next chapter that matches your growth, a chapter that would never have fit if you were still holding on to the old. Returning to the old life delays the new one. When a chapter in your life closes, it is natural to feel the pull to return to what is familiar. The old routines, the familiar people, the comfortable habits they call to you, and your heart may long for them. It is easy to think that going back will bring safety or happiness, but often what feels familiar is no longer what your heart needs. Returning to the old life delays the arrival of what is truly meant for you, and every time you go back, you slow your own growth and hold yourself in a place you have already outgrown. The challenge is that your mind remembers the comfort and forgets the weight. Your memories may cling to the good moments and try to convince you that the old life was better than it really was. But your heart feels the truth, even if it is quiet. The truth that you have already changed, and what once fit no longer does. The old life cannot support the new version of you that Allah is shaping, because you are being prepared for something bigger, deeper, and more aligned with your heart. Returning to what is ending is often a test of patience and trust. Your heart may resist the unknown, and fear may whisper that the new path is too uncertain or too lonely. But every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to what Allah has prepared. Every time you choose not to return, you are choosing growth over comfort, trust over fear, and faith over attachment. This is how your heart learns to rely on Allah alone, rather than the familiar patterns of the past. It is important to remember that the old life is leaving for a reason. It may have served its purpose, taught its lessons, or protected you in ways you do not yet understand. Holding onto it, or trying to recreate it, will only delay the blessings that are waiting for you. What awaits in the future is often more aligned with your heart, more peaceful, and more fulfilling than anything you could cling to from the past. Allah has a plan that your heart cannot yet see, and your job is to trust the process. Returning to the old life can also make the lessons of the past repeat themselves. The same patterns, the same challenges, and the same struggles may return if you hold on, because your heart has not yet fully released them. Letting go is not weakness, it is strength. It is the courage to trust that the future is better than the past and that every ending has a reason. When you resist the pull to return, you open space for new opportunities, new growth, and new peace that can only arrive when you are ready to receive them. The moment you fully accept that the old life is behind you, the heaviness of longing begins to lift. You stop looking backward and start looking forward. You begin to see that what is coming is not just different, but better suited to your heart, your faith, and your purpose. Letting go is not giving up. It is making room for the life that Allah has carefully prepared. And it is the step that allows your heart to rise, your faith to grow, and your soul to find the peace it has been seeking. Your old life is ending so your heart can belong fully to Allah. When your old life begins to feel like it is slipping away, it can be frightening. You may feel uncertainty, sadness, or even fear of what comes next. It is natural to want to hold on to what is familiar, to cling to what you have known for so long. But the truth is, your old life is ending not to take away from you, but to open your heart fully to Allah. Every change, every closure, every loss is part of a process to free your heart from attachments that keep it from belonging completely to Him. Your heart cannot fully rise when it is divided. It cannot fully trust when it is holding on to comfort that is not meant for it. The attachments you cling to, even those that feel good, can quietly take energy away from your faith and your purpose. Allah knows this, and in His mercy, He allows the old life to fade so your heart can be available for something higher, something purer. What feels like emptiness now is actually space being created for your heart to expand, to connect in ways it never could before. This is a time for your heart to learn, surrender. When the old life ends, it asks you to stop controlling, to stop relying on what you can see, and to trust in what is unseen. Your comfort, your plans, and your expectations may all feel uncertain, but Allah is shaping your heart to rely on Him alone. He is teaching patience, resilience, and deep trust, so that when the next chapter unfolds, your heart will recognize it receive it, and cherish it fully. You may feel lonely in this process because leaving what was familiar often means leaving behind people, habits, or situations that gave a sense of identity or security. But this loneliness is part of the preparation. It is the quiet that allows your heart to hear Allah more clearly. It is the space where your faith grows stronger than fear, where your reliance shifts from what is temporary to what is eternal. When your heart belongs fully to Allah, peace no longer depends on circumstances, and joy no longer depends on people. This ending also teaches your heart gratitude. Even as something departs, your heart begins to understand the value of what you experienced. It remembers the lessons, the growth, and the moments of love and comfort, but it does not cling to them in a way that limits what comes next. Your heart learns to appreciate without being attached, to love without being dependent, and to trust without needing constant reassurance. The ending of your old life is a call to freedom. Freedom from what no longer serves you, freedom from compromise, and freedom to rise into the fullness of who Allah is shaping you to be. When you accept this process, your heart begins to belong fully to Him. You begin to move forward with clarity, strength, and quiet confidence. You start to understand that every ending is a doorway, every closure is an invitation, and every loss carries the seeds of a greater, more peaceful, and more purposeful beginning. Your heart is being prepared to experience life in a way that is lighter, deeper, and closer to the truth. And when your heart belongs fully to Allah, you no longer fear endings, because you understand that every ending has been designed for your highest good. Every change is guided with wisdom, and every step forward is moving you closer to a life rooted in faith, peace, and purpose. Now take a deep breath and let this sink in. The shift you've been feeling, the heaviness in your heart, the endings you've been resisting, they are not punishments. They are the most powerful signs that your life is being realigned, that your heart is being prepared for something greater, and that your faith is being strengthened in ways you cannot yet see. Everything you have experienced, the attachments, the comforts, the routines you clung to, is leaving for a reason. And what is coming for you is not only better, it is purer, lighter, and more aligned with the person you are becoming. Your old life is ending so your heart can belong fully, freely, and deeply to Allah. I want you to remember this. Endings are not the end. Losses are not failures. Discomfort is not weakness. Every moment of unease is a mercy guiding you toward clarity, peace, and purpose. Trust that, embrace that, and do not rush back to what is leaving, because everything that is meant for you is waiting on the other side of your willingness to let go. So today, commit to noticing the shifts in your heart. Commit to feeling the heaviness and listening to it. Commit to letting go of what no longer serves you. And trust that every ending is opening the door to a life your soul has been waiting for. Your journey does not end here. It begins anew, stronger, wiser, freer, and closer than ever before. Carry this truth with you. Let it guide every choice, every thought, and every step forward. Your heart is ready, your life is ready, and the best is yet to come.